Now at 5, a rural Kansas bridge gives way in a dramatic collapse into the Neosho River. Plus, if you're planning to travel this holiday, you're not alone. AAA says this could be one of the busiest summer travel seasons in years. And
lawmakers received their first classified briefing on the targeted U.S. strikes on Iran. I'm Erica Brown in Washington with more on that and the president's spending bill now facing new hurdles in the Senate.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
A bridge over the Neosho River south of St. Paul, Kansas is no more. It's collapsed into the river under the weight of a fallen tree. This is KOAM News at 5. I'm Dow Quick. It's a dramatic sight. The steel bridge on Veterans Road is now mostly underwater. Neosho County authorities got the call around 11 this morning that a large tree had fallen onto the bridge, causing it to break apart. There were no vehicles on the bridge at the time, and the sheriff's office says no one was hurt. Neosho County deputies and road and bridge crews responded quickly and closed access to the bridge. The bridge had a posted weight limit of 3 tons. Right now, let's check in with meteorologist Lindsay Gaffney for a first look at the weather.
Well, so far temperatures are only getting up to the upper 80s, about 89 degrees, but we do have some pretty strong winds. So although it's only in the 80s, it was a hot one today. The winds help keep us a bit cooler. We've got these southerly winds gusting up to 25 miles per hour. You can see Joplin about 20 miles per hour. Same in Pittsburgh. Now these are all going to slowly start to die down over the next couple of hours. And we do have a front trying to push through. Doesn't quite make it in, but we are getting a few rain showers out to the west. Now you can see at our future radar, all starts to dissipate, kind of tries to make it in, but really doesn't successfully make it into our area until Friday. So most of the night tonight, going to get some spotty showers, but overall looking pretty good. And then as we head into Friday morning, we've got our second wave of heavy rain Friday morning and Friday afternoon, but I'll have those details coming up.
See you soon. Although the 4th of July is still more than a week away, the summer travel season officially kicks off this Saturday. And if you plan to hit the road, well, you are not alone. According to AAA, all 4 states in our region are expecting a surge in automobile travel, up by about 9% compared to 2019. AAA can respond to breakdowns on the road, including some that are aggravated by the climbing temperatures.
One of the main reasons that we get called out for roadside assistance, around these major travel summer holidays, or really in the summer altogether, is for dead or disabled batteries. Just like a battery can have issues when it gets really cold out, when it gets as hot as it has been, that can wreak havoc on your vehicles.
AAA also says if you want to save on gas, well, drive the speed limit. Going faster can consume more fuel per mile. As the 4th of July nears, the sounds of fireworks can be expected more and more. The sounds and smells can act as a trigger for those with post-traumatic stress disorder, especially for veterans. According to the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs, more than 7% of service members experience PTSD. The military liaison with Ozark Center in Joplin says the unexpectedness of fireworks, especially when people celebrate early, can be a trigger.
Give them a heads up. Let them know that they're, going to be firing fireworks or anticipate that at whatever time it might be. The biggest thing is just to give the fair warning.
Most fireworks stands now also carry silent fireworks, which could be a good option for those who want the 4th of July sights without those sounds. Tonight on KOAM News at 6, we're going to hear from a local veteran about how the holiday impacts him. After weeks of heavy rain followed by warm temperatures, conditions are ripe for a bad mosquito season in the area. And the Joplin Health Department is urging residents to take precautions. Crews have launched a mosquito fogging program to help control the growing population. But officials say residents can also help by staying indoors during peak mosquito hours, wearing long sleeves and pants, and using EPA-approved insect repellent.
Mosquitoes, they like a few different things. They need a few different things to reproduce. Shade, they don't like to grow in direct sunlight. Some sort of vegetative matter and standing water. Those are really conducive to a lot of mosquitoes.
Each week between 4 and 6 a.m. You can find the schedule for your neighborhood at KOIMnewsnow.com. Upward Bound students at Crowder College in Neosho, Missouri showcase their research projects to their peers. Upward Bound is a program for high school students whose parents did not attend college or have a disability. The students are required to attend research classes to help get them ready for college. The subjects range from creative writing and music theory to business law.
We are trying to get our students ready for college, so again, we are just trying to mimic that collegiate research aspect, because a lot of our students are going to need to know how to do that when they get to college.
The students are allowed to do research of their choosing as long as it's part of their class subject. The White House is pushing the Senate to quickly pass the president's one big beautiful bill, the spending bill, but the plan is going to have to undergo some changes which could jeopardize Republicans' ability to pass that bill. Erica Brown has more details now from Capitol Hill.
President Trump is hosting Republican senators at the White House as he tries to push through his self-proclaimed big, beautiful bill.
We expect that bill to be on the president's desk for signature by July 4th.
President Trump and GOP leaders on the Hill are trying to walk a tightrope to win over reluctant moderates without alienating hardline conservatives. Their efforts took a hit Thursday with a ruling from the parliamentarian saying the bill would require more than a simple majority vote if they want to change how Medicaid providers are taxed. The proposal would have raised more than $200 billion to help pay for the bill, satisfying some Republicans who don't want to add hundreds of billions of dollars to the deficit.
I know the House and the Senate have worked hard to come up with things that they believe would pass the bird bath, so I think it's pretty frustrating.
Also on Capitol Hill, Trump administration officials are briefing lawmakers about the airstrikes that hit Iranian nuclear facilities. But the White House is limiting the intelligence it's sharing after early damage assessments were leaked to the press.
I'm disappointed that we may be lacking some of the real factual background that's necessary to evaluate how much of the job remains to be done in stopping a nuclear-armed Iran.
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth is among the briefers. He forcefully pressed the case at a morning news conference that U.S. strikes on Iranian nuclear sites got the job done.
You want to call it defeated, you want to call it obliterated, choose your word. This was an historically successful attack.
The Pentagon is working with the FBI to investigate who leaked that early classified Iran damage assessment. Erica Brown, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
White House Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt admitted that the White House does not know if the leak originated from Democrats on Capitol Hill, but President Trump posted on social media that he knows the leak came from Democrats and called for the leaker to be prosecuted. Still ahead, copying the Constitution.
A movement to handwrite the text of the U.S. Constitution encourages everyone to engage with our founding documents in an old school way. I'm Bradley Blackburn with how they're showing words have power.
But first, in Health Watch, scientists push the boundaries of genetic research, working to create human DNA from scratch. Topping today's Health Watch, work is underway on a controversial project to create DNA from scratch in what's believed to be a world first. The Synthetic Human Genome Project aims to create the building blocks of human life. Researchers in Cambridge, England say they're looking to protect people from health problems and degenerate disease-resistant cells to restore damaged organs.
Well, I think the sky's the limit. We are looking at therapies that would hopefully improve people's lives as they age and lead to healthier aging with less disease.
Critics fear the move could pave the way for unethical attempts to engineer enhanced humans, designer babies, or even deadly biological weapons. But the world's largest medical charity that's funding the research says it has the potential to do more good than harm by speeding up treatments for many incurable diseases. It's estimated that around 2 million Americans are living with limb loss, like an amputated hand, foot, leg, or arm. Most people rely on some sort of prosthetic limb to function, but while the prosthetics available are good, well, they're not perfect. And that's inspired a trio of Texas high school students to make a better prosthetic. And as Bo Evans found out, it was for one of the best reasons.
Sam Skotnikov, Chanyoung Kim, and Ishan Dev Prashan have spent the better part of the last 18 months building this.
And it's a mind-controlled bionic leg.
You heard him right, a prosthetic leg you can control with your brain.
We started with paper cups and hot glue and servo.
Using this headset, a person can make the leg move and walk.
It's a multi-node headset, records the actual electrical frequencies of the brain.
It can also move in ways other prosthetics on the market can't.
That can adapt to different terrains,
which has massive implications for people who need prosthetic limbs. But they didn't build this to help millions of amputees. They wanted to help one of their friends.
I've had 3 open heart surgeries. I have scoliosis. I am missing a rib on my right side. I was not expected to live for the first 24 hours of my life.
Aiden Ballinger has been fighting for his life since day one. Staying alive was #1 on his priority list. Walking may have been #2. Finding friends?
No, I did not think I would have friends like this.
Friends who build you a brand new leg straight out of a science fiction movie.
And I thought down, and then the leg went down, and then I thought up, and the leg went up. And I'm like, okay, this is insane.
The boys won a $50,000 scholarship from the Regeneron International Science Fair, hosted by the Society of Science. But they didn't do it for the money or to win a contest.
And these kids, it just surprised me on how much they could put into this.
They did it for their friend. Bo Evans, CBS News, Flower Mound, Texas.
Prosthetic legs can cost anywhere from a few $1,000s to more than $100,000. And that is a look at today's health news. A little bit later, Indigo Sky is bringing the noise and the star power. Kiss legend Gene Simmons rocks the 4 states with a grand opening.
And we have rain chances returning. I'll have those details coming up. Well, it has been just incredibly hot outside. We do have some rain chances that might briefly cool us off. So let's go ahead and take a look outside. Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. You can see how just beautiful and sunny it is. We've got those fair weather clouds. Now, as we head into the rest of the evening, we're really not expecting much until tomorrow morning. So you can see we've got our front developing that is bringing a few rain showers at least out to Howard, maybe Fredonia, maybe if it makes it that far. But we're surrounded by storms to the south and to the north of us. Kansas City getting hit, Oklahoma City also getting hit with some strong storms. But we are just ahead of where the threat for any potential strong to severe storms are going to be. And you can see up north of Kansas City, they're under a level 2 risk, but we're looking pretty good. Now, once we zoom back into our area, you can see how these storms start off pretty strong. These isolated storms, maybe some heavy rain, a lot of lightning, dying down really quickly once it makes it into our area. That's going to be the theme for tonight. And then actual storms will really start to make it in once we get through tomorrow morning. You can see how our risk goes up from 10% to 20% by 5 a.m. up to 40% by mid-morning and into the early afternoon. So that's going to be our window for rain chances, especially right around 2 p.m. Going to start to see those heavy rain showers moving into the Joplin metro. It does keep us slightly cooler through Friday, though we may briefly touch 90 degrees. We're mainly going to stay in the upper 80s, which is pretty similar to today. It doesn't really make a difference because it's going to be hot either way and muggy, especially once all that rain clears out. So let's go ahead and look at our future track. All right, so we've got these rain showers developing, pushing in by mid-morning. Those are going to continue to make their way into the Joplin metro. Some heavy rain, lightning, and maybe even some thunderstorms. We might get some stronger storms, so we're not expecting a severe threat at all. Now, those are going to continue to push further south once we get into Friday afternoon. Still pretty cloudy, but clouds do start to break apart once we get into Saturday. Couple chances of more isolated showers along and north of I-44 once we get out towards I-49, but all that clears out again pretty quickly. So overall, it's not a bad weekend. We're going to get some sunshine chances, but we're also going to get some rain chances that briefly cool us down, but then just re-humidify everything, and we're going to be pretty hot and humid. Rain chances up to 2 inches in some isolated areas. You can see Fort Scott and Nevada, but the rest of us only seeing 1/10 of an inch all the way to about 1 inch of rain. So like I said, we do have those rain chances continuing through the weekend. Temperatures spike again, but not widespread, mainly just some isolated chances, hit and miss showers, hit and miss thunderstorms that stick around through midweek next week.
A lot of people would welcome some rain if we get it.
Yes.
Lindsay, thanks. Coming up, why a group is hand copying the U.S. Constitution. Topping today's Consumer Watch, the ribbon is cut for Indigo Sky's new Rock and Brews restaurant and concert bar. The event kicks off a day of fun, including a free concert at 8 tonight by this guy, Gene Simmons Band. Yeah, Simmons, of course, he's a co-founder of Rock and Brews. Also, you know him from Kiss. Organizers say there's going to be plenty to do, from watching sports and dancing to regular events like Taco Tuesday. Simmons applauded the dedication to get a project like this off the ground.
We're so proud of how the Eastern Shawnee have stepped up and done wonders. Look at this place. It takes full commitment. It takes money. It takes the right people. It takes hiring the right chefs. And it takes the right staff, so who treat you like family when you first walk in through the door.
Live music will continue into the weekend. Surveys show Americans are almost evenly divided along party lines. With that split often heated, some are focused on the fundamentals that connect us. Bradley Blackburn shows us how they're picking up a pen to make a statement.
In the old stone house in the heart of Brooklyn, this group has come from far and wide for a shared mission.
Choose the document of your choice and you can get started writing.
They grab printouts of the U.S. Constitution and start copying by hand, word for word.
You don't have to have a constitutional attorney interpret it for you. You can pick up a copy and read it for yourself.
Maggie Weber hosts the free events monthly. This historic house is on the site of the Battle of Brooklyn, a key moment in the Revolutionary War.
So what happened on this ground is a big reason there is a constitution.
Correct.
The concept was created in 2017 by artist Morgan O'Hara. She was concerned about the direction of the country, but says this practice is not partisan.
We don't talk about anything. It's not a discussion group. After all the time I see, that's really what makes it work.
Since then, dozens of sessions have been held across the country and around the world, copying the U.S. Constitution and other human rights texts. Surveys show a majority of Americans have never read the Constitution, let alone written it, and many cannot name even a single right guaranteed by these words. For every person, the quiet experience is unique. And it works muscles, literally.
My hand is hurting, my arm especially.
Denise Gray from Los Angeles sees a stark reminder that words have power only when people uphold them.
It's hard to read these words and know that they apply in some places and not others, including this country.
A simple act that speaks for itself by inking a connection to the country's founding documents. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
For more information about the project or how to host or participate in an event, go to handwritingtheconstitution.org. Final check of the forecast up next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, it's become so hot in the desert that cactuses are dying. We're going to look at the race to save a symbol of the American Southwest. Then on KOAM News at 6, authorities will seek charges in connection with the Joplin shooting incident from last night, but not for the shooting. Plus, we're going to hear from a Southwest Missouri military veteran whose PTSD can be triggered by the sound of fireworks. And the Nevada Griffins are in action today. We're going to have the highlights for you. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. You know, for a while we were complaining about too much rain. Now I think a lot of people would welcome at least a bit of rain.
Well, you know what? I mowed the lawn today in the heat and it was brutal. But we do have some rain chances to cool us down starting Friday morning, continuing throughout pretty much intermittently all the way through midweek next week.
Cooling off at least a little bit.
At least a little bit.
Thanks for joining us. CBS Evening News is next. And of course, we're going to be right back here for KOAM News at 6. Let's make it a great evening.